Trinity of Sin, Pandora number 6, written by Ray Fawkes, art by Francis Portella and Staz Johnson. So, last time was Constantine, where essentially they started fighting Blight, and then it didn't work out. Also, this is Forever Evil Blight, if that wasn't clear. So, we pick up here, and Pandora's still fighting against all the other sins and stuff like that. And she's recounting everything that's pretty much happened. But then she sees Constantine about to be killed by Blight. So she rushes in and uses her chain, which I didn't even know she had a chain. But it essentially gets the kid, Christopher, who's hosting Blight, out of Blight's control and slams him off to the side. So at that point, Constantine's safe for a second. She goes back to continue fighting against the sins while Nightmare Nurse fixes up Constantine. And we see the kid is just immediately overtaken by Blight again. It just immediately absorbs his body, and he just laughs and says, like, "You think that's going to stop me? I'm growing stronger every second." So at that point, as she's fighting against one of the sins, Pandora sees a couple of innocents in the park, and she says, like, "All right, get behind me, stay out of the line of sight, this is important." And we see Nightmare Nurse fixing up Constantine as Swamp Thing's nearby, trying to defend. But then the dragon form of Blight essentially raises its head, and Phantom Stranger's like, "Oh, oops, guys, he's about to do a dragon breath thing. Everyone shield yourselves." So Pandora sets up a shield for her and the bystanders, and then all of the Swamp Thing and Nightmare Nurse and all them set up their own individual things in order to protect Constantine as well. So at that point, Constantine gets up and he's like, "Cool, still alive. All right, so good job, everybody." And at that point, Phantom Stranger looks around and says, "Hey, this fire breath, like, it's too wide, it's too big. It's going to start hitting buildings outside the park. We have to go save those innocents." And Constantine's like, "Okay, or we stop this thing at the source, and whatever happens to the innocents is whatever. It's an acceptable loss." But before you can even say that, everyone else is already gone. So Swamp Thing uses the wood flooring in some of the buildings to essentially show up, work his way in there through the green, and provide protection. Nightmare Nurse stands outside some of the tenement buildings and makes her own shield to make sure the fire doesn't hit them. And some of the people, in their moment of being so scared, they scream out for help, wanting to get away from this, and Phantom Stranger gives them a portal to just outside of town. And we follow that for a second, where all the people who Phantom Stranger's teleported out, he's like, "Hey, guys, like, your home's right over there. Just stay out here for a while until all this fighting stops." And one of the girls that he saves is like, "You're a hero. You've saved us." And he's like, "Oh, I don't think, no." So at that point, Constantine meets back up with Pandora and just like, "Yeah, okay, that's great. So they went off and played goody hero, whatever. But meanwhile, every second that we're not fighting Blight, his circle of destruction gets wider. And therefore, like, we have no way of fighting against him anyway. Like, it's just going to keep on causing more innocents to get caught." So all the sins come up and start attacking. And Pandora's like, "Well, come up with a plan, because I'm the one who's attacking still. So figure that out." So at that point, Nightmare Nurse shows back up and asks Constantine what the plan is. And he's like, "Okay, do you know about the mark of Dun Con Wen?" And she says, "That's dark, deep magic. You sure about that?" And he's like, "Yep, totally. Go ahead and put the mark on the others. I'll take care of Pandora." So Pandora asks what the mark is, and he's like, "Don't worry about it. Just know it's necessary. We got to do this." And as Nightmare Nurse goes to put it on Phantom Stranger, he's just like, "You fools! I can't believe you would do this, but sure, whatever, if we've got nothing better." So they put the mark on each other, and then Pandora basically calls out Constantine for saying, like, "Hey, you're willing to let all those innocent people die. I've heard that you're a great mage. Great mages find a way to let everybody live." And she's like, "Well, yeah, but I've heard that you're an immortal, and immortals never give a damn about human life. That's true of every immortal I've ever met." And Pandora's like, "Well, now you've met one who does." So Blight comes down. Pandora basically taunts him into attacking while in his human form, and immediately just wipes the floor with everybody. He beheads Constantine. He stabs Phantom Stranger and Nightmare Nurse through their chests. He sets Swamp Thing on fire. And then Pandora, being the last one left, is like, "Oh no, if I'm the only one left, I'll take you on myself. I'll never let evil win." And he's just like, "I'm sorry. You think you even have a shot here? Like, there's no such thing as good. Evil's all there is. And he uses his spikes on his back to impale Pandora, which, she's immortal, and she makes the point of like, yeah, I fall over, but like I know I'll get back up. But then I don't. I my vision starts going dark. I start losing my hearing. I've never needed to breathe before, but I take one last breath just to like exhale one last time, and yeah, she straight up dies. And she sees some sort of vision of the like blight raising up over the city, taking full control of it. People are sharing the story of Pandora, who stood up against that dragon beast all on her own. She sees Marcus, who's still working on the box out of apparently love and devotion. And she sees the eclipse as well. And then everything goes dark again. And she sees Nightmare Nurse. And Nightmare Nurse is like, hey, Pandora, this is what the mark of Duncan Wen does. It makes you like relive your death over and over and over again in your dreams. But don't worry about that. That's a future thing. That might drive you crazy. But in case we don't go crazy, here's the plan. And we see that the entire group has shown up in the main foyer of Terrence 13. So everyone's probably still alive to some extent, but we'll see what actually is the plan they've got worked out. It's moving the plot forward. I'll give it that. That's been a critique I've had with this book so far, is that it never felt like it was actually doing anything. It just felt like every book was kind of kept in a stasis so that when the next book picks it up, it doesn't like have any major change. This one has the change of, okay, there's a plan now. We have this entire group is now seen more or less as heroes because of the way that they're acting and saving other people. And now we've gotten back to Terrence 13, and we're going to see how he interferes with stuff as well. So progress has been made. I'm at least suitable for that. The only major problem I have here is that once again, it sets up this idea that Blight is so uber powerful that like, I'm sure that whatever plan they have, it's thought out well enough that it's going to be like a whole thing. But like, the more they keep doing this, it's not even so much that I worry about how they beat him is going to come off as like undeserved. It's more so of why hasn't like the crime syndicate come in at this point? Like, this is explicitly happening during Forever Evil. If this giant ass dragon shows up and says this world belongs to me, I feel like the crime syndicate would then show up and be like, I'm sorry, the hell you talking about? So yeah, I don't know, just one of those things where there's some weird little lapses in continuity where I feel like the things that are happening here should have bigger effects because of how big they've blown them up to be. But obviously not every tie-in is going to affect the main book, so I'll take what I can get. All in all, it's a 7. It's not, like, it's fine. It's a good issue. It's just not anything blowing me away. It's just another issue of Blight where, yeah, feels like we're doing a decent job of establishing what is actually going to happen from now on.